Evening, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans, and welcome to a Friday night battle royale of Ducklings past and present. I am joined tonight by Rock Solid 84. We got Danny 3883 on the tracking, and we got a great matchup tonight of four Duckling Supremes going head to head to head to head in a slobber knocker battle tonight. Rox, why don't you tell us a little bit about what we have going on?
Hey, Luffy, and thanks. Tonight, our flag set is pretty standard for the most part. We've got 21 locations and 21 items, so no loose items here, and no dead items to be found. Among the items that we'll be looking for, there will be the defense sword and the power gauntlet, so lots of options for your melee fighter. A little bit more on that later. We're not doing a floor or entrance shuffle, so everything's going to be where you expect it to be. And we even have some hint givers in the villages that'll help you find items faster if you're looking for something particular. So you might see our runners checking with some of them. We do have 4 forced light warriors as part of this flag set. So the choice is random. And all of the runners are going to have to go. Now we can see on our screen here that the 4 forced classes are in fact a fighter, 2 red mages, and a thief. So actually a pretty strong party. Luffy, if you're starting off with a party like this, what are your thoughts? Are you danning one of the party members right away, or are you waiting until you see magic first? What's your strategy?
I mean, I like having the early thief. It's going to help with trying to run early. It's going to help with trying to figure out the encounter table early on. But then at some point, that thief's going to be taking a nap for me, I think. I'll roll with the 2 mages and the fighter and just kind of go from there.
Yeah, chat pointing out that this composition is pretty OP, and I completely agree with your strategy, Luffy. You can run around all you want with that thief. And the great thing about it, too, is even if you let the thief take a dirt nap, you can always come back later if you end up promoting. If there's good level 1 black magic, like let's say you want 3 brat casters, or you want 3 nuke casters, or 3 fast casters, I mean, you could end up having a lot of great tools at your fingertips. I mean, this party composition, I want to run this party composition. This looks great.
Yeah, I'd be on board with it, that's for sure.
So Burt Reynolds calling out in chat that he would go and actually dan the thief right away. And I understand the thinking behind that. There's definitely something to be said for the 3-man party compositions. You do rack up XP quicker that way. And with 2 red mages, you're probably going to end up with some good sweepers that you might be able to take out some enemies. And we get started. Let's see what's in the shops.
White magic are kind of meh. Oh, there we go. There's your level 1. Like you were saying, there's a nuke.
Yeah, as if we needed any more reason to love this party composition. Nuke and lock at level 1, both of those very useful for the end game.
Yep, that's for sure.
Some cap +4s for sale in Corneria Armor Shop. Gloves +3 as well. That's actually half decent armor for those mages through the mid game.
Oh yeah, agreed. We can come across a silver bracelet plus something. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah, definitely. And it also helps to have some save items, cabins and houses in Corneria for later. Chanigan pointing out in chat that the hints are on. So Crown is in Volcano. I guess that's a joke, maybe a reference. I'm not sure what that's to. And Gregory Puff joining us in chat. We got an active chat room tonight.
Yeah. Everybody coming out to join us and watch this fun little battle we have going on. We got free mage staff over there picked up in Temple of Fiends too. That'll be some free fire 2 AoE.
Yeah, it gives that thief something to do other than run in boss fights. And we do get an early canoe and bottle from the King and Sarah respectively. Of course, we knew that we would need some kind of transportation because we only started with a free bridge, no free ship or free canoe. So now the runners are going to have to make the choices about going east or west. Any thoughts about that, Luffy? Any preferences there?
I think that I'd still like to head on over to Provoke, check out the level 2 magic, make sure you get your key item from Bicky, and kind of just see where you go from there. I mean, if all you know, Bicky can hand you the floater, and then it's all bets are off. You're just going real fast.
Yeah, of course, that is the high percentage play, as I understand it, and it's what I would normally do. I was wondering if any of these runners might go for the cheeky left first approach, just in an attempt to shake off the competition. But since it's not a high percentage play, that's the sort of thing that you'd only see somebody do if they're really afraid of the competition, and I don't think any of these runners are. They're all supremes in their own right.
Correct. It'd be interesting to see if they gave us the canoe and maybe like the TNT to see what could go in that direction. Something to dwarfs, and then the choice of going to there at Provoca. That would have been interesting.
Yeah, early TNT, early adamant. That's a great point. Shadow's checking in chat and pointing out, thanks to you for clarifying that Deadpool's had in fact checked the hint, so we do know that the crown is Volcano. Not something that you're going to go out of your way to get, but if you're hard up for items, it could be the ticket.
Yeah. Checking out the scaling too, we have 5% per key item, experience and gold boost at 2.5 and 250. So they'll be getting some levels pretty early on, and every key item is going to be nice.
Yep. We have a slab for sale in Provoca, and it's pretty cheap. Always like to see that vendor item early and pick it up if you can. I think Gouda had enough money to just buy it straight up.
Yeah, I think Gouda made a pit stop at Matoya's and found about 10K in a chest, so that certainly helped.
Yeah, that's another interesting play. The early Matoya check. Often when runners have a ship, they'll wait until they're on their way back to do that one. Mm-hmm. But without the ship, it's a pretty wise play, and it did give Gouda some money as Gouda picks up some great magic. Cure 4 and Lit 3 there in level 2 magic.
Yeah. Your level 1 nuke and having any other kind of sweeper there at level 2, especially something like lightning, which won't be resisted by undead. Something like ice 3 would be nice to see there, but that's not going to do you much good against undead or enemies like that. So lightning 3 is not resisted by many things. It's a good spell to have.
Yeah, it is a great one, and it'll just take some of the heat off your nuke charges early on to have another option. It's great magic that these runners have for this party comp, which does include lots of black casters.
Yep.
Gold is at +5 for sale for 6,000. Wow, that's a great find.
Wow, yeah. So these mages are going to be set with in-game armor with these gloves, hats, and gold bracelets all plus. You find a ribbon, that's just an added bonus.
Yeah, well, now that you said it, it's probably going to be in the Volcano Armory as Groggy Dog nukes down his pirates. I, in fact, didn't see this. It's the rod. So, that's prefer to see the ruby, but I'll take the rod early on.
The rod is an item that I always tend to find last whenever I'm looking for something, or find it in Earth itself, an incentive, so...
No, you're absolutely right, Luffy. I can't tell you how many times I've thought I was in go mode and then realized, no, I actually don't have the rod.
Mm-hmm. I missed what Sir Lancelot got from the Circle of Sages. Let's see what Gouda pulled. Oh, the ship. Okay. Here we go. Interesting pop quiz right here. If the ship is given to you by the Circle of Sages, where does it end up?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. The rule is that it has to be at an inner sea location, and it'll be, sorry, I should say it the other way around. It'll be at the dock that's closest to you, but it has to be a dock that's on the inner sea. So in that case, the closest dock to you is actually the dock east of Crescent Lake, but because that's not on the inner sea, the ship can't spawn there. So it'll go to the second closest dock, which, as Gouda is showing us, is actually Elfland.
Mm-hmm. It always throws me for a loop when I find, the ship in a box in Ice Cave or something, and then I'm like, okay, where does it go? And then it ends up at Provoca, and I'm like, okay, that was fun.
Yeah, and that one's a tough one because it's often hard to think on the fly. As Sir Lancelot finds a loose crown, are we using the flag that shuffles the incentive chest location?
We
the
actually
new one from
are.
4.0?
We are. We have that new pick a random chest at location flag check tonight. So while Volcano Some of our incentive locations in the dungeons are the four fiend dungeons: Earth, Volcano, Sea, and Sky. They will not have necessarily the incentivized item in their normal chests. So that just goes to show you that quick little dip into Volcano there by Sir Link-a-Lot. If he doesn't want to go any deeper, he can just kind of bug out of there and then go see what that early crown turns into, because maybe that's our floater.
Yeah, and I think we called something in the armory, but I think we called a ribbon in the armory. But a loose item's almost as good. I really like this new flag. The version 4.0 of the randomizer just came out, I think, last week, and this is a new flag. It's lots of fun because it kind of sort of a halfway point between having loose items and not having loose items, because although there are no loose items in this flag set, you do still have to hunt around in boxes because you don't know exactly which one is going to be holding the item. So it's I think there's a lot of promise for this new flag. It's going to generate some fun flag sets.
Yep, I agree. And Gouda on his side found the ruby in Marsh incentive in the Marsh attic. So once again, that flag having some fun with our runners right now.
Yeah, and so Ruby, that's one that you really like to get early on, especially if you're still traveling by ship, because it does give you access to 2 incentive locations right outside the inner sea. Now, they don't have the canal yet, though, I believe, so they're still locked to the inner sea.
So I wonder then if this crown then
Crown turn
Link-a-Lot
in.
picked up, this is going to be some kind of progression. It could be our canal, or it can just be the floater, which would be very, very interesting. Because then you can have canal literally anywhere, but once you have that floater, the canal is just kind of all that's going to be is an XP boon. It's going to be useless.
Yeah, good point. I didn't consider that possibility, but let's run down the list and see what else it could be. It could be either of the 2 dwarf items, which would lead to either the canal or the floater, or the crystal would have the same effect.
And I think I saw Dead Pulse leaving Volcano as well. He picked up his crown. So Dead Pulse and Sir Link-a-Lot, both with the crowns, and Groggy and Gouda both picked up their rubies. So this should be fun.
Yeah, these runners are wisely choosing not to try and go through and clear carry out. You'd be tempted to with 2 nuke casters, but carry hits hard and they don't have levels or that much gear yet. So it makes sense. They know that they're going to have some kind of progression. They know that eventually they'll have the airship. So you found the key item right on the first floor. You might as well duck out and come back later. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, it makes the most sense. I'm a big person of trying to clear out an area when I am there. Jat kind of ingrained that in me when he was doing a VOD. Like, you're in that area, clear that area. But it's kind of a little too early on to dip into Volcano. You got your item. It was very early on in the top floor there. Just get your item and leave and come back when you have some levels.
Yeah, talk about the magic. It continues to just give and give. We've got Fast and Lock 2 at level 4, so those will be available to the Ninja if we do promote. And look at that, some Heal 3s and Cure 3s. I think the Cure 3 is not going to be something we can get, but we don't care. We just got Heal 3 at the same level.
I think either that's a commentator blessing or a commentator curse right there, because Astos gives us our floater.
Okay, so Canal will just be a random XP item somewhere out there in the world. I don't think I've ever seen a seed where I got the airship before I got the canal. This is a first for me.
I think I've maybe had it just a handful of times, and it's pretty wild because now we're 10 minutes in, going on 11 right here, and the entire world is going to be open to these runners, and you just got to make a choice here. I mean, it's going to be real interesting to see the divergence that these guys do.
Groggy Dog picks up more excellent black magic. Brack at level 3, and Invis 2 also at level 3. And was that a Mazza -2 I saw for sale in the weapon shop?
Ooh, I didn't catch that. Dragon armor -1 in the hairpin there in Volcano, so not great, but you know what? Dragon armor is dragon armor, so we'll take it any day.
Oh yeah, Dragon armor is fantastic. I'm surprised that Gouda is going for the hairpin check. I wonder why Gouda wants to full clear. Maybe Gouda has not checked the armory yet and is about to do that now.
That could be. He's probably just trying to cover all his bases here, knowing that flag is checked for the pick random chest.
Yeah, although easy to say with hindsight, but you think you would check volcano or the armory first, since there's more chests closely together. As he nukes down some frosties, that's some good experience.
Yeah. That should give him level 10 across the board right there. That's not bad. 12 minutes in, level 10. I'll take that.
Yeah, in fact, if he wanted to, he could grind up those frosties and go through to carry. What
Mhm.
do you think of that play?
I mean, if he has a house or two in his inventory, I don't think that's a bad idea. Like I've been telling you before, I like to clear areas when I'm there. And if I could just take these new casters and then go down and just take out carry and not have to come back to Volcano, I mean, I'd be on board with it, but it really depends on what you got there in your inventory. Because if you don't have any cabins or houses and you got to go back and save and replenish your magic at Crescent, I mean, it just kind of meh at that point.
Yeah, Gouda unfortunately taking a wipe to that seafood party pack. Of course, it's not that much of a loss. He can just go straight back to the incentive item, get dragon armor if he wants it, or make a note of it for later. Shadow's pointing out that the fighter has a katana on Deadpulse's screen, so maybe the katana blursing was on. I didn't catch that.
I know they had 2 bonuses and 1 malice. No, I'm gonna pull up the seed and take a look for myself. That way, I can kind of clue us in on what they may have had.
Sure. So while you're doing that, Dead Pulse did actually pick up gold bracelets, so he put a ring on his mages. Groggy Dog picking up some incentive items there, and Sir Linkalot is deep in the ice cave, and look at this, found the eye trap tile. That's a nice grind.
Is that a single eye or was that the multi-eye tile? I had the other screen pulled up. I missed it.
It was a single eye, so I think we're dealing with this alternate trap tiles formation was tri-stated. I think in this case it's switched to off.
Gotcha. Cool. Okay, so I pulled up the seed right here. It looks like red mages had plus 10 luck, plus 15 vitality at the expense of minus pro ring. So, it's okay, I guess. The fighters, fighters had 15 luck and plus katana. No bracelets, so again, no big deal right there. And the thief had plus 20 MDEF, plus 20 vitality, and minus 5 luck. So that thief, at some point, I think we'll see everybody putting that thief to bed, if not already.
Yeah, well, with the fighter be able to equip the katana, I mean, you still could keep the thief simply because the ninja will be so OP with all those extra black spells, but you don't need them because you've already got the red mages that can cast all the same magic. So Dead Pulse, for example, is on 3 man and looks like he might be staying there. Gouda also has one of his light warriors on the ground, although that might just be a casualty of Ice Cave. Volcanoes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think early on you might want to put the thief down for a little bit, get these charges on these mages, then maybe bring the thief back up once you get him into like level 15, 16 somewhere, and then kind of just ride it out from there. Maybe get the thief up into the, mid-teens, start gaining some spell charges on him, and then a couple nuke charges and take him into Temple of Fiends right there.
Yeah, well, I don't know if Will Cleosis is watching, but I'm pretty sure that's what he'll be wanting, seeing as Gouda has gone with the OG Light Warrior names here. Some of the names that I know from watching VODs of yesteryear.
Yep. Like Dead Pulse is going to give us this bottle turn in. I think he picked up his loot as well. So we're looking for a few more key items here to kind of get things ironed out in this seed. But it's been pretty kind so far and giving these runners a good direction and giving these runners good items to get there.
For sure. The TNT, of course, is nothing but a push to your next check. So Dead Pulse is actually continuing. It looks like he must already have the slab translated and is going to go see what that is. Interesting play. I mean, this is a lot of walking. You would think you might try to avoid this one if you could.
I think with the way his levels are right now, he's maybe hoping to find something to kind of be able to get through a dungeon, like the way we found that early rod. But he's also checking his hint givers too, because Also a good play. But this is smart. I like to go to this continent if I do have the bottle and if I have the slab as well. Get both your checks in and then, never have to come back.
Yep. So I didn't catch that hint. It looked like it was not very useful.
I think it was a dud hint, as we have required slab with that Oxyale.
Yeah, well, Dead Pulse will be happy to see that. It means that his decision to come down here was warranted.
As we have Gouda and Link-A-Lot diving deeper into Volcano, it looks like they're going to try to kill themselves a carry.
Yep. There's a little bit more HP now on some of those light warriors, so they should be okay. And Gouda, I don't know if that's a trap tile or just a random encounter. It looks like a random encounter on the Agumon there. But, oh yes, lots of HP on this fighter, so he should be okay.
Yeah. That Katana +1 is going to do some work for him as well, so that feels pretty good.
No doubt, especially with the fast casters.
All right, so he pulls carry. Let's see what we get. We got Nuke going off. Another Nuke going off. Both decent rolls in the mid-200s. Oh, that was a big hit on the Knight taking a nap. Another Nuke goes off. Ooh. Turn order. Nuke, 270. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, Carry unfortunately hitting hard and taking out Gouda's light warriors. Gouda decides he's had enough. He's going to go check out Ice Cave, and let's see how Sir Link-A-Lot does.
He got a fast off on that Knight swinging that Katana. I guess he might have a little bit of extra gear too, because Carry only hit that Knight for... Ooh, Blaze comes out, not good. He only hit that Knight for about 170 damage compared to the over 350 he did to Gouda.
Yep, and looks like Sir Link-A-Lot's going to squeak through. So that's going to be a difference maker in terms of basically Sir Link-A-Lot and Gouda being at the exact same location, but Link getting the RNG and Gouda not. So
yep.
I wonder how much difference that's going to make in the long run here.
We'll see. I think that Gouda's a pretty good runner. I think he'll be able to recover from that. And Volcano is a quick dungeon to get through. But you never like to have to dip a place twice after taking a death to a boss, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we should say this again, just in case it wasn't apparent, or if you're just joining us now, we are looking at 4 very good players of this game, because everybody that's on stream here has won a Duckling Derby tournament. So that means that, when they were a new player, they came in and they went up against all the other new players, and they came out, overall points victor after all 4 races were complete. And I got to tell you, I was just in one of those tournaments. It's not easy.
Yep, I agree. I was there with you.
Yeah, I think you did a little better than I did, though.
I mean, it wasn't my best showing over those 4 weeks, but I had fun doing it nonetheless. I learned some lessons and I made some great friends, which is all part of the fun.
For sure, definitely. And I don't feel bad one bit for coming in towards the back of the pack. I had a great time, and I do it again. There's so many events coming up with this community that there's lots for everybody. Not just the solo tournaments, but there's co-op tournaments as well. There's different formats. It's quite an active community.
Yep. We got our double anti-bingo tournament starting next week. We got spring tournament in a couple months. That's going to be 2021 is going to be a lot of fun for Final Fantasy Randomizer.
I think so. And Chandigan, another one of our fellow Ducklings, shouting at chat that the Duckling Derby was amazing. As was Guardian Marcus. Yeah, I've got the whole crew here. And Rubes and Shadows. It's basically a Duckling takeover of this chat room right now.
That's right.
So Gouda's taking the eye grind, it looks like. And I like this play. Basically, it means that Gouda is going to be walking around like the Kings of Mount Olympus here with some very powerful magic and damage coming from all 3 of these light warriors.
Yep. And this will be almost certain then that as he's on his way back down, he's just going to dip right back into the volcano and teach Carry a lesson this time around.
Oh, yeah. And Gouda came straight up here and said, I'm getting some levels, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to lay the smack down. So Groggy Dog was just in Astos not too long ago, but I didn't see what he got, so I'm going to take advantage of these wonderful tracker notes we have here and find out. Danny3883 on the tracking has noted that Astos was the floater. Oh, of course, we knew that.
Looks like memory. Matoya gave the loot, which was a ditty this time on Groggy Dog's side. That's one of my favorite flags, is the multi-instrumental Sarah. It always teaches me a new instrument that I never knew existed.
Yeah, there's quite a few fun ones on there, like the didgeridoo or the is there a bagpipe? I think there's a bagpipe.
I think there's a bagpipe. Yep, I got a baby grand piano one time. The vuvuzela is always a fan favorite.
Snare drum.
Snare drum.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
So vuvuzelas, in case anybody's wondering, those are those crazy plastic horns that you can get at the dollar store. Mm-hmm. And if you saw the World Cup in Africa, you'll know what a vuvuzela sounds like, because everybody in the crowd seemed to have one.
You'll know why 60% of the world has disdain for that instrument.
And the other 40% hasn't heard of it yet.
Yep.
So Dead Pulse and Sir Link-A-Lot are both still in the process of full clearing Earth because they don't know where that item is yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we've seen a fair number of blue Ds. Those are not supposed to be common. They might be at a trap tile.
Maybe. Let's see where Dead Pulse is right here. Yeah, it's a trap tile. Oh, you're right.
And I just wanted to point out... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing to your point that I didn't think we had shuffles and counters on. So please, go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just going to give ear to the chat room. Although, before I do that, we've got the key in its incentive location. So the key item actually shuffled into the incentive chest, which can happen. That's kind of funny when that happens. But chat, talking up on bass guitars right now, of course, Gregory Puff and Twinstrumental and a few others have put together some live kind of covers of Final Fantasy music that you can check out on YouTube if you've got the interest in that sort of thing. It's some pretty, I'm going to say, creative covers in terms of stylistic choices in some cases.
I got a big shout out to those guys, because that's some of the best interpretations of Final Fantasy rock that I've ever heard.
Yep, it's basically them and the Black Mages, right?
Yep. I think I saw them pick up the canal from Ice Cave. So funny that if someone had gone to Ice instead and gotten the canal, and it maybe not dipped into Volcano and went somewhere else and got a ruby and never ended up getting that crown to turn into floater, this would be a very different seed for some people, depending on the choices that you made.
Yeah, and I can totally see that. You know, if I get the canal and I have the ship and I know that I've got the ruby, that's usually what I'm going to do.
Yeah, that would have been my first dip. So if that crown was buried deep on, like, say, the Agama floor, or even back in its incentive location down there on Carrie's floor, I don't think these runners would have dipped into there. So very interesting.
I wouldn't. I got to say, I wouldn't have even done it, because you don't know where it's going to load in there, and you don't have the ability to take out carry, so you don't want to wind up at the bottom floor, and you probably don't have that much healing magic yet, although they do have heal 3. So anyway, they all made the same choices and didn't have to make that choice, but it could have very well happened that way.
Yeah. As Gouda gonna see the news about picking up his floater here, and maybe be kicking himself a little bit, as Link-A-Lot lits his second orb already. 26 minutes in, Link-A-Lot has 2 orbs lit. He's just on fire right now.
Yeah, Link-A-Lot is flying, and let's see here. We've got everybody else has their floater at this point, but Gouda doesn't have the ship. Groggy Dog is in Earth and has yet to find the loose item there. So Dead Pulse, I think, would be the next fastest after Sir Link-A-Lot, because Dead Pulse has an orb lit and looks like has most of the items lit up, more items than anybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that
Dead
matter.
Pulse making those checks going to Gaia and to LaFane, respectively, picking up those key items. So he's gonna go get down to Carrie and see if he can take her out. And we're gonna see what they keep doing. This is a lot of fun so far. These runners have really made some interesting choices.
Yeah, and Dead Pulse is taking some greed chests on the way down. Also checking these trap tiles. Maybe hasn't seen the eye tile yet.
Not sure if
But
Dead Pulse has been to Ice
must have been
Cave
to
yet.
ice by
Yeah,
now.
yeah. We'll see. We'll see what he
Maybe
decides
just
to
wanted a
do
few
after
safety
Carrie.
levels.
Yeah, can't hurt to check out and see what's there. Grey worms, but never hurts.
No, unfortunately, Grey Worms don't get a lot of love in Final Fantasy Randomizer. They're more appreciated in Game of Thrones, I think.
Dead Pulse getting some great turn order there on Carrie. And, Carrie with the swing, just barely having that knight on its feet. Blaze comes out. Nuke. 118. Another nuke. 133. All right. Nuke goes off. 108. Carrie terminated. That's 2 orbs lit for Dead Pulse.
Yeah, so Dead Pulse catching up to Sir Link-a-Lot's orb lead, and arguably has more items, it looks like. This is a close race between these first two frontrunners, and the other two not that far behind.
Yeah, the most recent Duckling Derby winner, Dead Pulse, and the last year Duckling Derby winner, Sir Link-a-Lot, really putting on quite a show here. You got Groggy and Gouda, Ducklings 1 and 2 respectively. Yeah, doing the best they can, but Gouda had some tough luck there, and Groggy's picking up some levels and gonna work his way through Earth Cave. But really good showing so far by Dead Pulse and Sir Link-a-Lot.
Yeah, Dead Pulse doing our Duckling class proud. I think Dead Pulse came in first all 4 races.
I think if I'm not mistaken, he got first place the first 3 weeks, and I want to give a shout out. I think Guardian Marcus took first place in week 4 this past week.
Oh, nice one.
If I am correct, I was too busy getting nuked down by Frost Dragons this past week to really see where everybody else finished.
Oh yeah, that Topher. That was fun,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it took me about 8 dives to get through, but persistence is key. I made it at some point. Late, but I made it.
Yeah, no doubt. For me, it was that Kraken too, and with the nuclears giving me a hard time.
Yep, I saw plenty of that myself. And we got Guardian Marcus in chat confirming, yes, he did win this past week. So good job, Marcus. You had a great showing this past tournament as well, man. GG's.
Yeah, so Dead Pulse about to give us a look at the waterfall robot item, and Mummy's using Stare. That's not a skill that I'm very familiar with. Does it paralyze you? I honestly don't feel like I've seen that often.
I think it does just damage to you, but I'm not sure about paralyze.
Okay, well, Dead Pulse picking up some medicinals from the robot and checking the chests before leaving. I guess, with so many chests tight together, you could find some defensive gear, or perhaps one of those ribbons would really like to see one of those at this point.
Yeah, and that ribbon would be nice. Defense sword would be nice. Any kind of safety gear I think would be nice. White shirt, anything of that ilk.
Yeah, I believe. Oh, picks up another katana. I'm gonna double check the flags, but I think the white shirt is incentivized. So let's see here. Oh no, I had that wrong. It's actually the defense and the power gauntlet are the sort of non-progression incentive items that we've got in the pool, and I don't believe we've seen either one of those yet.
We have not, so we'll see what this herb turns into that the Pulse picked up, because I think we're looking for. We need chime. I thought I saw. No, we haven't seen a cube yet. That was another seed I was watching earlier today. So we need chime, and we need cube for our go mode. Everything else has been found, so I'm not sure if he turned in that TNT yet either.
Yeah, I'm actually just thinking that it might be the dwarves that have both, because we haven't seen the adamant turn in either.
Checking our tracker here, it looks like Danny has Narek marked down as giving the chime, so looks like Groggy turned in the TNT and got the chime from Narek, but we have not gotten the adamant turn in yet. So herb, adamant, somewhere along the lines we're going to find a tail as well.
Well, we might get to see that now as Deadpulse checks a hint giver and then ducks down. Yes, in the Sea Shrine. I was just about to say Sea Shrine is incentivized. So we got a little quick preview of what's going to be down there. Interesting to see if Deadpulse picks it up. I think he would, but he's going to take out the Fiend first. My reasoning behind this is because maybe it seems risky, and I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this, Luffy, but maybe if you know it's not itself a key item that you need, maybe you skip it.
See, the interesting thing here that I'm going to point out is that the hint that the hint giver gave there about floor 6, I can actually speak to this. I ran a practice with my partner for the Double Dragon co-op, Lord Fizzlebeef, and we got that hint a couple times that the floor 6 of Sea Shrine is an item, and that turns out that is the Sharknado floor. So believe it or not, Deadpulse is going to the incentive area. Now if he checks the chest there, we'll see as he gets to the floor right now, but this is where the item is. It is not on the mermaid floor.
Okay, I have to admit you galaxy brained on me a bit there. Were you saying that the hint giver always tells you, like the location that the hint giver gives is always going to be the 6th floor? Because that's not normally an incentive location.
The hint giver that Deadpulse talked to right there outside of the Oxyel entrance said that the adamant is on the 6th floor of Sea Shrine. So 6th floor of Sea Shrine is actually the Sharknado floor.
Okay, but it could be any chest on this floor.
Yes, it could be any chest on the Sharknado floor, but that is, we'll see here. This looks like it's a big brain play as he's checking these chests, because he's not going to have to go over to the mermaid side, and that's if he figures it out. He left that one chest behind in that top room, so he might just be trying to avoid the trap tile right now. We'll see if he finds anything in these next couple rooms.
Well, yeah, now I don't know how this works, but Better Trap Treasure is on. So I wonder if that would make it that you can't get the key item in there, because the Better Trap Treasure chest would be populated by a different subroutine of the randomizer. I don't know if I'm explaining myself very well, but we do find the adamant.
I think I know what you're trying to say. I think that came up for discussion as well. Could a key item be behind something with Better Trap Treasure when there is this new flag with shuffle any location in a dungeon? And I'm not a dev. I don't even play one on TV, so I can't speak to that. But I want to say you have a solid point there. I don't know if that could be behind a trap tile.
Right. So now that we have the adamant picked up, Greggly Puff in chat pointing out that chat in general pointing out that mermaids are down. A lot of stuff to catch up with here. So we know that there is still an incentive. Well, okay, so I guess if the incentive in C was shuffled, it could be shuffled to any floor, so we know that we've got the only incentive from C.
Mm-hmm.
Jat2980 in chat pointing out that the incentives go first, so it could be behind a trap tile. That it seems to me that if the incentives were placed first, that you would want to avoid the Better Trap Treasure chest, because then they would be placed and overwrite the incentive. But again, I have no idea how the randomizer works. I'm sure Jat has a better handle on it than I do.
Yeah, I trust Jat when it comes to this kind of thought process here.
Okay, here we go. Retro Gaming 2084 saying that they have gotten key items in the 4 chest room behind the trap tile.
Okay. Want to do a quick circle back as well to we had a discussion about Stare a little while ago. Greggly Puff asked Crab Cakes, one of our also resident champions and quite a good runner in her own right, about what is Stare, and it's non-elemental damage, so it does do damage.
Okay. I wanted to make a joke about ex-girlfriends or something, but then I decided that it might not go over so well. Groggy Dog's about to get his adamant.
as Dead Pulse lights his third orb. So we have a Sea Shrine party, like Ale Markin's pointing out in chat right now. Every runner at this point was in the Sea Shrine at the same time. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. We've got a little bit of under the sea magic going on as Dead Pulse, though, is flying away in the airship and going to turn in that adamant. So we're going to see what that is going to be.
As Gregory Puff pointing out, that Crabcakes is the 2019 Spring Tournament champion, and I believe also was a finalist in the 2020 Spring Tournament in a fantastic matchup with Spellzap.
Yeah, I watched that match. It was awesome. And they had another one right after that, too, that was just as close. Two just real champions of the game as Dead Pulse picks up a Chime and a Power Bonk in Dwarfs.
You like finding that Power Bonk, and you like that free white shirt as well, but we still got a defense sword sitting out there. We got a tail sitting out there. And we got that cube. Now, where is that cube? Rube's throwing in chat, cube and Mirage. Now, wouldn't that be something? That's like the Rod in Earth Cave. That's just the ultimate troll.
Yeah, but again, the randomizer new flag is allowed to put things above the cube block if that flag is checked. You can actually specifically tell it not to do that. I'm looking at my flags right now to see if I can dig that out.
It is included Mirage and TFC checked. Adds Mirage chess into Sky Palace and TFC into Sea Shrine. These are not included in random chess, originally to remove the chance of having to gamble on keyless Sea or cubeless Mirage. So we'll see. So it looks like the cube could not be in there, as the herb was the cube. Never mind.
Right.
Go mode for Dead Pulse.
Right, and defense sword will be in Sky.
Yep.
Which I don't think anyone's going to try and dig out.
Probably not, considering it's going to be in any one of these 53 chests. If it was in the one incentive location, maybe. But as Dead Pulse proves us wrong, it's still opening boxes.
Yeah, well, you could find other gear too, so I don't hate the play. You may see some sort of prioritizing of chest checking. Like there's an asterisk room where the chests are pretty spaced out, so maybe you don't check that necessarily, or at least not first. There's a few ways you can sort of maximize your efficiency, and I'm sure Dead Pulse is about to show us exactly how to do it.
He might also be looking for... we haven't found that tail yet either, so that tail could be here instead of the defense sword. And I don't know if we ever found the item in Earth. The defense sword could be buried somewhere in the bottom of Earth, so... Wouldn't mind finding the tail and promoting with this party, get some good gear, like that dragon armor if you picked it up on that night. So there's still some stuff you can find if you really, really want it.
Yeah, solid points for sure. As Dead Pulse takes on a blue dragon that just kind of casually showed up and said hi. We're going to see a trap tile here, and it's just a couple of cobras, so nothing you want to stick around and fight.
You got Cheesinator, another great runner in the community, pointing out in chat that Dead Pulse is so fast, don't put him in my spring tournament pod, please. I don't think any of us want Dead Pulse in our spring tournament pod. He's a great guy. Wouldn't want to race against him again.
I think that's a pretty safe bet. As Dead Pulse mages down some EXP Medusas here. And we're going to see if he does check these chests on this floor. I don't think that he would, at least not right away.
Yeah, I think he might check some of the chests on the next floor. I think we have 14 chests on the floor above this. If he left behind greater than less than, I don't think he'll do much checking on Spider Floor.
Yeah, and American in chat calling out Dead Pulse and saying he's not afraid. So, well, you're going to have to let your plan do the talking, Ale. Let's see how you do. American in very helpful member of the community, always jumping in there with timely information and advice and helping us ducklings out. We really appreciate that. And I believe tracked my race on Monday past.
Yeah, Ale Markin, half of Team Caleb in the Double Dragon Tag Team Tournament. Good to see you, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, and chat asking about the boss scaling. I know we went over this earlier, but I have it right here, so I'm going to read it off, and I'll give you the enemy stats too. So for regular enemies, their stats are from 100 to 200%, and their HP is scaled separately, ranging from 50 to 200%. For bosses, it's similar. The stats can roll low. The stats are from 50 to 200%, and the HP is clamped. So the HP starts at 100 and goes up to 200%. So yeah, we were talking about this earlier, Luffy, and I think we both agree that that's sort of middle of the road. They can be pretty tough, but they're not the nightmare bosses you sometimes see in Iron Goal.
Yeah, I think with Fast, with this Katana +1, I mean, I kind of like his chances here as he runs into some unrunnable airs. Let's see what this happens. Be able to nuke down one of them. They got less than 350 HP. That's not so bad. A couple nukes take care of the job.
Yep. We do have a required Warmech here. One of two potential appearances of Warmech in this seed, since we've got one guarding the Masmian chest as well.
Mm-hmm. As we do, to your point, we do have the Send Masamune home flag checked, where the vanilla Massa chest will guarantee to have a Massa.
Yes, and it may be guarded by Warmech and it may not be, because there's a flag in which Warmech guards the Masamune, but that flag is tri-stated, so we don't know if it's on or off for this particular seed.
So we got some nukes going off, another nuke. And that Warmech did not have a whole lot of HP. There's level 25 and 26 across the board for Dead Pulse. I gotta feel like he's gotta feel ready to take a dive right here after getting those levels. So he's gonna take out a Tia here, hopefully. And then it looks like Dead Pulse is gonna be our first runner into Temple of Fiends.
Yeah, and this was what I was starting to think earlier when we were talking about digging up chests in Sky. It's like, yes, of course you want the tail to get the better gear on your fighter primarily, but you don't need it from magic perspective, and you've already got the great weapon. Mm-hmm. So you've got a ribbon, you've got great weapons. I mean, you don't really need that high level armor necessarily. I mean, yeah, you could get unlucky with super buff bosses all the way through. But Dead Pulse is looking pretty good. I think we're going to see a dive here.
I think he's got a Ice Shield +5. He's got a Flame Over and +1. He can't equip that Power Blanc +3, but he's got it, which will cast Free Saber. I mean, this is he's got to feel pretty good here. I would take a chance. I'd go for it.
Yeah. I think. I mean, he's fine. If you got Ice and Fire armor and it's rolled up, you're good to go.
Look, he's even got access to Temper right there on those red mages. He's got to feel more than adequate. Fast, Temper, Power Bonk. He's got a white shirt. I mean, I'd go for it.
Yep, and chat pointing out that this has the hallmarks of a final shopping trip here. Unfortunately, didn't know that there's no heal pots available in Corneria. Decides that doesn't need them though, and heads straight on in.
See if he's got 67 of them, so he's got heal 3. He's got 67 heal pots. If he can, not take a whole lot of encounters on the way down, the encounter table didn't look super brutal. I mean, this could be okay. It's about 45 minutes and call it 15 seconds. Dead Pulse dives Temple of Fiends.
Yeah, just blazing through the seed. Does check validation chests. That's an interesting choice. Guess still hoping for whatever random gear you might find. We know that those can't be incentivized.
Yeah. You never know. I've checked them before and found a ribbon before, which is never a bad thing.
True.
As we got Groggy Dog pulling his carry, and Link-A-Lot working his way up through Sky, and you got Gouda over there in Earth Cave working his way down toward Lich. So lots of action here by these runners.
Yeah. Dead Pulse nukes down some Ice Dragons, and Rubes is asking in chat if Dead Pulse has any ribbons. We have seen at least one ribbon, but I don't recall if Dead Pulse in particular picked it up. I thought that he did, but it's possible that he did not.
I think he got that ribbon from Waterfall, if I'm not mistaken. perhaps? I know we opened those chests. I think he did. As a worm with crack takes out one of those red mages, so he's down to 2-man strats.
Yeah, that's. I don't know how I feel about that. You could get a little bit of extra experience on your fighter, I suppose, potentially taking over another breakpoint. But I think it's just a matter of Deadpool's feeling comfortable enough to try it with 2 men.
Yeah, he's got over 550 HP on that fighter. He's got over 400 HP on this red mage. He's going to be able to survive a nuke or a nuclear if it comes out. The question is he going to be able to do enough damage?
Yeah, and it does have a ribbon equipped on the fighter, just confirming what we thought. Yeah, doing damage, I should think so, with temper and with fast. As long as the red mage doesn't go down, I think Deadpulse will be okay.
Yeah. Retro Gaming pointing out, a temper fast katana should be doing some shredding. I agree. And that power bonk's going to be casting free saber. This should be okay. Ooh. As Link-a-Lot, that fighter took a zap to the face. That's unfortunate.
Sir Link-a-Lot does have Brack, so should be okay for Tiamat as long as Tiamat doesn't swing too hard. But taking out Warmech is going to be the problem now.
Mm-hmm. Deadpool's pulling Carry 2 and sends Carry 2 to the scrap heap, and just Deadpool's is on another level right now, man. He's playing out of his mind. I'm in awe of watching this guy. I know he's good, but this is something.
Yeah, well, it just goes to show the caliber of runners that this game has been attracting, that you've got somebody just mashing through a seed well on pace for a sub-hour in a live match with 3 other fantastic runners. I mean, just an embarrassment of riches in terms of skills here.
Mm-hmm. All right, as we got a Kraken too, we got fast and a swing. Fire through from Kraken, that feels okay to see. Fast goes off. We're going to power bonk. We're going to throw out a temper.
Oh no.
That's a reset, yeah. Okay.
Do you go back in when Kraken's hitting that hard and you don't have access to life?
I mean, you took that unlucky crack by that worm to take out one of your red mages. You still made it down to Kraken 2 with not much resistance. So, I mean, I could see you putting one of those red mages into the sacrificial spot and hoping Kraken swings there and getting through with 2 white warriors on the way. But, I mean, I don't know. With no access to life, this is definitely a chance.
Rube's asking the question, do we need the meat shield? And that's something that, I think would be good to do. Bring up the thief just so it can take a hit. Also, it can help you run from some of these trash encounters. So a lot of reasons to like the thief that comes back from the grave, so to speak.
Yep, as we have Link-a-Lot pulling his Tia, throwing out some powerbomb strats. He is down to a solo red mage. 7 hits, 499. I think that red mage is probably swinging an ice sword, it looks like. And this Tia goes down. There is 4 orbs lit for Sir Link-a-Lot.
Yeah, and put your hands together for Sir Link-a-Lot, losing his fighter to Warmech and still coming through bases with 1 light warrior left standing against Tiamat.
Not very far behind me, you have Groggy Dog and Gouda both pulling their Warmech and Tiamat respectively. So While we've been gushing over Dead Pulse and his speed, these other Ducks Supremes of the past year have done no slouches themselves, are now all about ready to get into Temple of Fiends as soon as Groggy and Gouda take out Tia, as Linkalot takes his dive at about the 51:45 mark.
Yeah, and look at how close they are. I mean, Dead Pulse has already had, I think, 2 shots at Topher now, but is only just on the first couple of floors, and Sir Linkalot's about to join. So this is still anybody's race.
Yep, you're right.
Gouda lights his 4th orb, and Groggy Dog's already got it all done. So I think the other 2 will be joining them within the next minute or so.
Groggy going to pick up that power bonk for a, reasons. And Gouda going to do his final shopping trip, and then we're going to have everybody all on the Topher at the same time. So Dead Pulse through carry 2 for the second time. Let's see if he can get through Kraken this time around.
Yep, and Gregory Papaneelmarkin pointing out that there ain't no party like a Topher party, as Dead Pulse heads to that nasty gatekeeper.
Mm-hmm. Right, let's see. There should be a shift here, I think, of a party member by Dead Pulse. Yep, there we go. And, of course, water's right before the fight, because why not? All right, we have Timber going off. Swing and a fast. Lock 2, actually. Kraken leads with Fire 3 again. Does Fire 3 things. Swing, 5 hits, 366 by that Katana. Thinking we got a nuke, a swing, and a nuke. Nuke goes off. 358, big roll. Stun, nothing going. Swing, 8 hits, 377. Down goes Kraken 2. All 3 party members left alive. And we'll run into some Waters and Nagas again, just cuz.
Yeah, I always say that the real final boss of Final Fantasy Randomizer is on the water floor. And no, I don't mean Kraken 2, I mean the trash encounters.
Yep, you are not wrong there. Same strats right here, it looks like for Tia 2. We have lock going off, swing and fast, 5 hits for 280. We got Temper, Cure 4, and a swing. 5 hits, 408. Another Cure 4, another swing, and a nuke. Nuke for 218. Swing by Tia. Fighter still standing. 7 hits for 390. Cure 4 again. Another swing and a nuke. 6 hits, 840. This Katana doing work. Down goes Tia 2 as Dead Pulse gets through his 4 Fiends Revisited, as Linkalot is on to carry. And the other 2 runners in Temple of Fiends as well. Dead Pulse getting ready to pull the final Fiend Chaos. We got some lock 2, some power bonk, and a fast. I think we'll just be dumping some tempers into this Katana now. Swing, temper, temper. Chaos not hitting that hard. That red mage still on his feet. 8 hits for 870. Big swing by that Katana. Temper, temper, swing. Oh, nuclear by Chaos. Okay. Another swing. 1200 damage. That's 2000 damage so far on Chaos. Yep, Cure 4 to be safe. Down goes that red mage, but they did their job. Swing and terminated for Dead Pulse. Dead Pulse finishing first right here. Get your GGs out in chat for our classes Duckling Supreme. Taking out the last 3 Duckling Supremes. GG's Dead Pulse.
Yeah, GG's Dead Pulse, and I like how you threw that in there, that was our class's Duckling Supreme. I appreciate that sly reference.
Gotta give credit where credit's due.
You absolutely do. Now let's see what Sir Linkalot can do in terms of follow-up, because we are facing down with the Gatekeeper right now. And Sir Linkalot's going with a different strategy with that Thief meat shielding in slot 1. And so far, Kraken's been holding back, hasn't let loose with those big old tentacles. Stun is not something that you're super worried about, especially when it targets the Thief. The Quad X, again, we're not too worried about that Thief. And the fighter takes Kraken out as Kraken holds off a little bit, and Sir Linkalot heads to Tiamat. For Tiamat, it looks like we're seeing similar strats, with defense being the priority. I like the play. We're seeing white shirts, we're seeing Invis 2 and defense sword for good measure. So it looks like Sir Linkalot is prioritizing the survivability of the mage down in the bottom instead of putting the defense sword on the fighter, and that's because the fighter can tank a hit without the defense sword. Fighter's fasted up, drops another white shirt. I think we're about to see some swinging happen real soon now, as we're up to max evade on the red mage and the fighter is close behind. Temper's going out. Looks like it's time to go on offense. Fighter swings for 193. That's not much damage. Gonna need to do better than that if we're gonna take out the dragon boss. But Tempers and nukes should help us get there. And here's our next katana swing. We've got... it went by too quick for me to see it. Been having some internet trouble, so I'm stuttering a bit here. But looks like 619 damage is gonna do the job. How about that, Luffy? He's on to Chaos, not even breaking a sweat.
Yeah, that's just showing the quality of these runners here. I mean, you saw Dead Pulse take a little bit of a hiccup by that big swing from Kraken, but these other 3 runners are just putting on quite a clinic right here. We're gonna have all 4 of these runners finishing right around the hour mark, if not sub-hour. That's very impressive.
Yeah, four runner sub hour is definitely something to be impressed with this flag set. Of course, no loose, but lots of items to find, and they've still managed to do it in the sub 60 neighborhood. So for Chaos, it looks like Sir Linkalot is sticking with the same approach as before, just going defense first and staying healed up just in case another sweeper comes out. That's some smart play. Chaos is already starting to miss. So the heal 3 comes out again, and we're back up to the 400 range. Still within nuke range, Linkalot's got to be a bit worried and does continue to heal. So that's the safe play. That's what I would do. You want to make sure that you're prepared for that big spell when it comes out. But now the fighters back up, they're all back up above 400, so I think we're going to see a change in strategy here as tempers go out. But there's nuclear, so it was a good thing we prepared for that. And we're now back within range. We don't know if a nuke's going to come on the heels of that nuclear. Fighter's doing pretty good damage, though, at 565, so let's switch to secure 4s and make sure that that fighter survives. I think Linkalot has Chaos on the ropes. Chaos could have up to 3,000 HP under a vanilla setting, and 1,000 has been done to him so far. In this case, this HP could go up to 200%, which means that 6,000 is possible, and we're up to 1,500. So with those tempers are going to be needed. We got to do more damage, especially if Chaos has Cure 4, which I don't think we've seen yet. So 875, and we're starting to get above the vanilla HP range now, as we're at about 2250. And another big swing comes out. There's 1,300 damage, and there's Chaos down. Get your GGs out for Sir Linkalot, our second runner to finish in this Duckling Supreme race.
While you were making that call there for Sir Linkalot, GG's to him. Unfortunately, Gouda took a wipe on Chaos and has to go back in. That stinks.
Yep. It's too bad. And Gouda does have the thief up now, so I think that's going to help in terms of getting down there and also staying alive for Kraken, which will really be the key for Gouda. Gouda's got pretty high leveled mages in the fighter, most of all the same tools that Sir Lancelot had, so should be able to do pretty well there. As Deadpulse joins us in the booth. Deadpulse, GG's.
GG's, man. Nice
Oh,
job.
hi. Thank you.
Yeah, you were our first runner on this Duckling Supreme face-off here, and Luffy and I are feeling pretty proud because you're representing our Duckling class. How does it feel to be the Duckling Supreme of Supremes?
I'm not going to lie. I got extremely lucky with my choice of routing there.
Tell us about that. How did you get lucky?
Well, don't laugh at me, but I had some decision paralysis after I got the floater, so I decided, all right, I'm just going to give myself some time. I'm going to go Earth because no one's expecting it. And when I found the key there, I'm like, oh, maybe I don't have to go to places like Ordeals or Ice Cave, which mean death.
Right, so did you end up not going to Ice Cave then?
I didn't go to
the items.
Cave or Marsh Cave or Ordeals.
Well, Ice Cave was the canal, Marsh Cave was the ruby, and I'm guessing Ordeals then was probably the tail. So you did a good job avoiding those three quote-unquote whammies with the gear you had. It was good enough, man. That was nice. As we got Groggy Dog pulling his chaos, we got Tempers going off, lock twos. Swing, 10 hits, 974. Wait, swing. Swirl from Chaos. I don't think we saw that yet. Another swing, 10 hits, 1300 damage. I think he's swinging that Sun Sword +4. That's a lot of damage. 10 hits, 882. Down goes Chaos. GG's Groggy Dog, our third place finisher with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 3 minutes, 41 seconds. GG's Groggy.
Yeah, Groggy finishing just a few minutes behind Sir Lancelot, who really is not that far behind Deadpulse either, and Kuda's in Topher. Everybody's bunched up pretty close together. I think there was a lot of the same decisions made, but I do notice that the other three runners do all have that ruby lit up. So it could be that that was the difference. And Groggy Dog joins us in chat. We'll be with Groggy in just a moment. I see that Sir Lancelot is also waiting in the waiting room there. So, Lancelot, if you can hear us, you're welcome to come join us anytime.
I made the choice for him.
Sorry?
Join in, Lancelot. How you doing, buddy?
All right.
GG's, man. What'd you think of that seed? How'd it go for you?
It felt too kind for a Danny seed. Like, I was expecting just something terrible and nasty to happen because, like, okay, we have this like 4 classes here, have this like beautiful party, and it's just like the balances. I'm like, I really probably don't need the thief unless like Black Magic 1 through 4 is just amazing and I want to promote. And then like nuke would be nice, but and it's like fast, nah. I'm not worried about it whatsoever. I'll be fine with these 3. And then yeah, it's just like I was waiting because level 1 nuke and everything's. I'm like, it's too friendly. Something's gonna happen. It's just terrible. It's gonna happen. And like the worst thing I really saw was technically chaos, because just nuclear, which I handled, but that was pretty much the worst thing I saw the entire seed, other than Warmech deciding, hey, I'm gonna turn 1 zap and take. I'll do this with a solar red mage now.
Yeah, that was real impressive when I saw your fighter take a zap to the face, and then you still made it through Warmech and Tiamat with that solo red mage. That was some good stuff, man.
Yeah, I was tempted as soon as that happened. I'm like, I should really just reset, grab the little things that I know over there, like the defense sword, just in case. I'm like, you know what? Got a red mage with an ice +3, has fast, has like all of its casts of temper, and I've got the defense sword and the power bonk sitting there. So if I can get through this, I can make the red mage pretty much invulnerable for Tia, and Tia the same way. And it's like, and then that red mage is going to be sitting pretty to where if I have to solo Topher at any point, I'm just going to protect the red mage because the red mage will get me through anything at this point.
As we have Gouda pulling Tia 2. Groggy, that was GG's, man. How did you feel that race went?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it felt pretty breezy for the most part. I think I had 2 pretty bad spots. One being when I wiped in Volcano after taking like a quick grind. But on the plus side, that caused me to bail and just like take the quick play gamble to go check out the crown, which was nice. But I still lost some time on that. And then foolishly going back in on the hard reset into Topher and getting cracked by the worms again. Did not feel good. But otherwise, it was fun. This is the first seed I've played with the like search for open chests in the incentive location flag, and I actually like it. It feels nicer than I thought it would. I kind of enjoy that, just that very quick hunt. Yeah, didn't see any good grind tiles, so I'd be interested to hear if anyone had one. But I just kind of did that walk and grind plus the one war mech.
Yeah, I didn't think we saw
Same.
very many. Yeah, there wasn't much in the way of a grind. I think the solo eye we saw Gouda take that for a little bit in Ice Cave, but I think that was really the best tile that we saw. Right,
Yeah.
Rox? We saw anything else that was pretty good there.
But yeah, I mean,
No, I was just going to say the eye. That's the only thing that I saw.
yeah. But G's to everyone, because this is not a field in which I feel bad finishing 3rd or 4th. Lincoln Deadpool showing why they earned their titles as well. Blazing time from Deadpulse especially, so well done.
Yeah, Deadpulse even actually took a wipe to Kraken too, so could have been just a touch faster. He got bad luck to Kraken punch to the face, but it was just really great to watch everybody. That early crown that you guys got in Volcano really kind of turned the tide of the early game, because we were talking in chat that if that crown was, say, buried deep maybe inside Volcano down the Agama floor as Gouda takes out Chaos, then maybe you guys wouldn't have found that early on like you did, and then that would have changed the whole dynamic of everything with that canal being an ice cave. It would have been very interesting.
Yeah.
As Gouda finishes with an official racetime.gg time of 1:08:45, as he joins us here in chat, man. GG's, Gouda. How you doing?
Well, I would have finished right ahead of Sir Link had I done probably like 5 more damage. Because I was doing like 500-600 at a crack. I got 6 turns off. I did a little over 3k, I think. And then I got punched down for 5 more HP than I had. So I blame you, Sir Link, with the anti-RNG curse right before the race.
No, you did that on yourself. I just affirmed that it was going to happen.
I mean, I don't disagree with you. This is one of the reasons why I get frustrated with this game, but also why I love it. Because you can do everything right and you can win, or you can do everything right and you can get cracked in the face.
Gouda, where'd you wipe?
Chaos.
Ooh.
I got crack worms before I could run away. They got one of my red mages because I only had 1 ribbon, and then made it all the way down to chaos. And Tia 2 double back rode my other red mage when I had him in the 4th slot. I had the fighter in the front slot, and Tia 2 decided to punch back row. I probably would have made it through chaos had I had 1 red mage alive. But what can you do?
I'm kind of curious though, who all split when they got the crown and got the floater?
I went immediately to turn in the crown.
That would do it. So canal was not needed, so ice was not needed. Ship was not needed, so marsh was not needed. So if you went straight to volcano, grab the crown and turn it in, you were in the air in like, I don't know, 10 minutes?
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
I think I was a little bit earlier, maybe.
I also skipped Ice Cave and Marsh and Ordeals, and I didn't clear out Mirage or Sky.
Same. I did nothing.
Yeah.
I did nothing in Mirage and Sky. I did I did top marsh first, which had the key item, and I did ice after I grabbed the crown.
Yeah, I skipped ice, did marsh, but I think that like 3 or 4 minute wipe got me. Plus, just generally not being the quickest slot.
Oh, I also wiped a carry, but that was nothing of a time loss because you just run down there. I had to run away from one encounter, I think, and then carry punched me down to like level 13. But I did gain almost all my levels in ice because ice had eyes.
Yeah, that's the reason I did floater and then I went right to ice cave because it's like it shouldn't be too terrible because of balance scripts and I can get the levels so that way when I go fight carry I don't have to worry about a wipe so much. So I spent a lot of time in ice because I full cleared it and then found the canals. Like great, that's not what I needed at all.
Right. Yeah, this was one of those really, really crazy seeds where you could have skipped half the dungeons.
Yeah, this was blazing fast, and that flag for any chests in the incentive location was definitely really fun to watch. With that crown being where it was, it really changed the beginning of the race for a lot of you guys.
Yeah, I thought I was in a really good spot. I'm like, I'm already out of marsh after 10 minutes, and then went to volcano after marsh. I'm like, all right, sweet, here we go. I was dead wrong. As soon as I got the crown and then turned it in after ice, I was like, well, shit. So how many ribbons did you guys have? I only had one.
Just
the
one.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, only one.
A ribbon and a prayer.
Yeah, that's what I had too.
I wiped twice to the crack worms, the floor before Lich, too.
Oh, yeah. The crack worms got me, but only the one. So I'm like, all right, I can keep going instead of reset.
Yeah, well, I hard reset once, went back in, died, hard reset again, and then got to like the second floor. I was like, I shouldn't hard reset this. I can probably just skip this encounter, can't I?
Yeah.
And then I didn't have to deal with it anymore. Well, no, that's not true. I did encounter. I clenched so hard. I saw 3 worms, like a step before Chaos's room, and I almost certainly would have forfeited.
If you did off the hard reset, you got the first set of worms before the Lich floor. And then I'm pretty sure I was exactly on step. I don't think I took any extra steps the whole way down. The first step onto Tia 2 floor was 4 worms off the hard reset. And I was like, are you kidding me? Luckily, I got turn order and got away right away, but I'm like, this is going to kill me.
I took two extra steps, and I hit that encounter on the water floor.
Oh, nice. Nothing like hitting, like, hey, I took 2 extra steps. This could really screw me. Nope. Saved by the extra steps. Yeah, GG's, guys.
Yeah, good stuff.
What's amazing is the finish of this race is exact reverse order of how we became Duckling Supreme.
I was gonna say I saw that. I'm like, this is kind of spooky. It's just like that's how it ended up. But
right.
Listen, I don't read too much into it, but at the same time, I would not be surprised. Everyone seems to just be getting better and better.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I don't know
about you. Ducks terrorize the spring tournament. It should be a lot of fun.
Right? We had 45, 50 ducks, something nutso like that. If all the ducks could join spring tournament, plus some of the vets and other people, like my entire team was named after vets. I don't know if they're going to come back and do it or not. But we got Bloodworth and Falconic and Tyrannex. If they come back, we could have another 80-person spring tournament. These, I believe, are mock spring tournament flags, like in the works. So, I mean, if these are spring tournament flags, let's go.
I don't know how much, because I know Gregory put these together, so I know he has access to the channel. I don't know how much you read into the flags before making them, but
I know some of the spring tournament, I don't want to say testing, but I guess it's sort of testing, that has been going on midday for the races has been similar to this. I think it's been not Sea Shrine incentive was one of them. But yeah, every single incentive seemed to line up with just going fast, which was crazy. Because this almost felt similar to pre-enterprise flags with the insanely long hard reset, no encounters, and then just kind of chest along the way is exactly where all the key items were.
Mm-hmm.
The only other one of these I did in practice felt like Full Clear Simulator 2.0, where it's like, all right, I go to the right side, go to the left side, check here, check there. Oh, this kind of sucks. Did anybody use the hint givers? Because I hate hint givers.
I literally have never used one of those in my life.
I checked.
I did check all of them.
I checked a few of them just because they're like right there and kind of on the way.
Mhm.
And like the last one I checked was in C because it was the first mermaid I talked to, and was like, "Hey, the crown's in the second floor of Gurgu Volcano." I'm just like, "Yep, you don't say."
Been there, done that. Thanks a lot, buddy.
The
Yeah, I
hint
did.
that you got in Dead Pulse right there outside of Oxio was interesting, saying that the adamant was on the 6th floor. We were having a discussion about why you didn't go mermaids, and I was pointing out 6th floor is Sharknado room, so that was big brain.
I was going to go mermaids because I didn't think I had the levels to go in, and I didn't want to chance the brack on Kraken. I just wanted to keep going. So as soon as that hint giver was like, "Oh, by the way, just go to the 6th floor to get the adamant," all right, sure.
Yeah, made it easy for you.
I can say that I first term bracked Kraken. It was great. It was a good feeling. I'm like, RNG is on my side. I got this, and then I got Kraken.
Oh. Womp.
Yeah, I was literally right on chaos, and the second that I wiped, Link clicked, got done. God, come on.
Yeah. We were watching you both on chaos at the same time, and that was I was wondering who was going to finish first, and then I saw Linkalot finish, and I saw you take that wipe, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I mean, I got to go back and watch this because Dead Pulse ran away with it. I mean, Duckling Supreme, current Duckling Supreme, just fantastic. It just shows how good the Duckling Bootcamp is, how great of a teacher Ailmarkin and Gregory Puff are for these ducks. I mean, they're coming out and they're coming out swinging. I'm a little nervous for spring tournament coming up now with the ducks making this kind of showing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think we're all very excited for spring tournament. We got the double anti-bingo tournament as well starting next week, which a few of us are participating in. So that'll be a lot of fun. And spring tournament is a couple months away. So I know that some of my other ducks and I are going to keep practicing because we got to catch up to our leader, Dead Pulse. But we're not going to make it easy for your vets either. We're going to keep pushing and try to make everybody better. So I think with that being said, we're going to kind of toss things around here to final thoughts. We'll go to, well, we start with Gouda, our first Duckling Supreme and 4th place finisher tonight on stream. Gouda, any final thoughts?
Oh, my biggest final thought is let's get these ducks out in iron goal. I mean, Gregory Puff throws together some really great flags for all the ducks, but let's see what the ducks have for flags. That's the best thing about Iron Goal is somebody makes flags, challenges somebody else. You can challenge other ducks. I mean, you guys have been doing the Duckling Bootcamp together for months, weeks, I don't know, however long you've been playing. Come out, challenge myself, Luffy's a duck. Come out, challenge Luffy. I know there's a bunch of us who have been doing Iron Goal. It's just a great way to test out some of the different flags. You can do beta, you can do alpha if you have access. I don't know if you do. But Iron Goal is the way to go. I mean, you can just run vanilla. Best thing about Iron Goal, you do not have to do the Saturday night Nutso flags unless you want to. I highly recommend doing them to get better. But if you just want to go out and have something casual and fun and challenge people, and right now we're doing it on racetime.gg. So get one person or get 2 people in a race, get 10 people in a race, doesn't matter. Let's do it.
Yep, I agree with that. Iron Goal is a lot of fun. It is the way to go. So yeah, come join us on Saturday. Come throw out challenges. Let's have some fun. With that being said, 3rd place finisher tonight, Groggy Dog. Final thoughts.
I am increasingly honored to be in this esteemed company of champions, of runners who are much, much better than me. So GG's to you all. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing these.
Thank you very much. Well said. 2nd place finisher tonight and 2020 Duckling Supreme, Sir Linkalot. What do you have to say?
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun with the flags. GG's to Dead Pulse for winning. It's the baton's been like officially handed off at this point. So I kind of like apologize because I know I left some big shoes to fill in Duckling Supreme with everything I ended up doing after getting it. So we'll see if Dead Pulse can fill those shoes and see what happens. I'm excited to see it.
Yep, I know a lot of us will be as well. And let's toss it over to our winner tonight, Duckling Supreme and champion, Dead Pulse. What do you have to say, buddy?
This is the first time that I've been on stream and actually won a match, so that's kind of exciting for me. But what I will say to all of the aspiring ducklings out there is to go back and watch the Duckling boot camps, and join the Discord and watch when people are racing. They'll go streaming live and just watch what they do, because you can learn so much just from that and accelerate your growth leaps and bounds. I have to be proof of that.
Yeah, well said. I agree with that as well. So with that, I think we'll give SpeedGaming back their channel here. And I want to say thank you to my co-coms tonight, RockSolid84. I want to say thank you to Danny3883 on the tracking, SpeedGaming for having us on the channel, to these 4 wonderful runners for putting on quite a show for us tonight, and everybody in the Final Fantasy Randomizer community that came out and watched. So thank you to everybody. Join the Discord, coming out with us. This is Luffy DV signing off for Rock Solid and my teammates. Final Fantasy Randomizer family, ciao and chillax, everybody. We gone.